it's absolutely hilarious to me that every single time that you say something inconvenient, people just call you a conspiracy theorist, you know? It's like when I talk about the phones and the radiation, the behavioral modification, crickets, every time. Because that requires people to look at their own behavior. You know, it's so much easier to just complain about the government. Honestly, the more that I think about it, the more that I'm reconsidering my stance on communism, and the more and more I want to support China, because, like, I don't think that Americans really want America to be free anyway, you know? If they're in favor of televisions and smartphones and computers and, like, all this shit, and their whole life revolves around their internet presence, their whole life revolves around recreating themselves. You're supposed to give yourself to God, and God will, like, recreate you in His image, okay? The internet is the antichrist for that reason alone. Because people are going on the internet and they're just making up whatever they want to make up, living in whatever world they want to live in. And it's not like they're doing the Amy Gross thing where they're just like some crazy schizo that has a lot of fun because she breaks all the rules and she cries at the drop of a hat and she allows herself to feel the whole spectrum of emotions and not just the ones that are convenient, okay? There's so much you can learn from the internet too. Like, I've studied society. I've studied myself. I've studied the world. And yet people just self-destruct, man. Like, I think about that relation to cannabis. Like, there's so many things that you can figure out about yourself. And, like, if you have, like, serious trauma, you know, you can get over that if you know how to use cannabis correctly. I know so many people that had severe PTSD, war-related, okay? They didn't kill themselves, unlike the 22 veterans today that take psychiatric medication for their PTSD, okay? Prescribed by the VA. VA bans marijuana. Like, everything can be used as a tool, but it can also be used as a weapon. If you don't know how to use the tool right, it's just going to turn into a weapon, and you're not even going to be conscious of that. So I don't necessarily think that the media or the internet or the education system or whatever, I don't think that the elite have to do much to weaponize it. People are people, and they're flawed, and they're weak, and they're pathetic, so, you know, naturally, they're going to weaponize it. Because it's so much easier to whine and play the victim than it is to look at a situation like, how can I better myself because of this negative experience? And the types of people that are able to do that are the types of people that benefit from the internet. Those are the types of people that benefit from having a smartphone. Those are the types of people that benefit from cannabis. Those are the types of people that benefit from anything, really. Like any terrible thing, they can flip it, turn it into something positive, you know? Unfortunately, we know the ratio here. Most people can't do that because they're weak. And I don't agree with a society that's so free they just allow people to self-destruct, you know? I don't think that's right. That's not moral, that's not ethical. And you can say that it's immoral or unethical to try to control people. But maybe there's not a solution. Maybe the whole point of Twitter is just like to get everybody fighting over something that's never going to change anyway. I mean, like, I feel like a lot of people that I talk to on a regular basis, I mean, like, we're living in a completely different reality, you know? So, based off of that alone, I don't think that we can, like, create a world where everybody's going to be able to coexist. You know, a lot of people keep talking about having two Americas and splitting up the country and all that shit. So are we going to call it the divided states? I mean, I know I'm not the first person to say that shit. I mean, I really don't like the idea of that, though. And the reason I don't like the idea of that is because that makes it seem like all the people that have certain political beliefs, like, oh, we're all the same. And that's not true at all. I mean, maybe we are, I don't know. You talk all kinds of shit, you know that, right? Like, you say all these things, and it's like you're always contradicting yourself. Mm-hmm. That's true. I'm sorry, Vortex. You say that all the time. You're like, everybody's the same. And now you're like, no, we're not the same. No, but here's the thing. When people say that in regards to politics, and they're like, we're not the same, they're talking about the other political side. I'm talking about people that say they're on my side, but they're not. I think that consciousness is a side all its own. And there's no political party for that. I think that people have a really hard time accepting the fact that, like, maybe... Hold on. I'm gonna turn the camera around because you're gonna see my titties if I don't do that. But there we go. Sorry. I know some of y'all want to see my titties, but no. Only God's gonna see these titties, okay? I just wish that more people would shut up, you know? Like, people that just feel the need to, like, constantly talk about everything going on. Do you ever consider the fact that your opinion is totally invalid and that nobody gives a shit? And the only reason why people comment on it is because they have no self-control, just like you. Do you ever consider that? Maybe I don't need to take a selfie. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. Contrary to what y'all probably think, I don't always shoot videos. I mean, I know I put up a lot of them, but I put up a lot of them because I'm always thinking and feeling and coming up with these brilliant ideas, okay? See, like, I realize though that I don't need to always do this, you know? I don't need to shoot a video just because it's been like a couple days or whatever. I don't have to do anything, you know? And I think that that's like the disconnect. Like, everybody feels like they have to comment and they have to like state their opinion, but they just want to get into these little petty squabbles online where they don't have to actually do anything in the real time. That's why they're addicted to social networks. It's not because they want to make the world a better place. It has nothing to do with that. They just want to boost their own ego. I don't boost my ego doing this, I'll tell you that. All I do is yell at myself about it. So, no dopamine for me.